Have you ever looked strong on the outside but felt completely exhausted, uncertain, or overwhelmed on the inside? Like you're holding everything together for everyone else while quietly questioning if you're enough. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you because today we're talking about where real inner strength comes from and why it has nothing to do with perfection and everything to do with faith. And so today's verse of the week is Proverbs chapter 31, verse 25, and it reads, "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." When we talk about inner strength, we often think of resilience, the ability to push through those hard moments and keep going. But for many of us, that kind of strength isn't something that we can manufacture on our own. And so for me, I know that inner strength is deeply connected to my relationship with God. And again, that's not something that you just arrive at. Every day, I'm trying to get better and better at that relationship. So through prayer, meditation, and scripture, I've learned how to tap into a peace and confidence that doesn't disappear when life gets hard. And that kind of strength, quite frankly, it changes everything. It is a game changer. Women especially face a very unique kind of pressure. We are constantly surrounded by messages telling us we're not enough, we're not smart enough, we're not accomplished enough, we're not put together enough. And over time, that noise becomes internal, right? It turns into self-doubt. And then we start questioning our abilities. We're second guessing our decisions. I know that's a big one for me. Feeling like we have to be perfect and polished and in control at all times. And honestly, that's just exhausting. And it's no wonder why so many women just feel disconnected from their own strength. But here's the truth, and I want you to hear this clearly today. You are strong, you are capable, and most importantly, you are enough. And your worth does not come from what you produce, how you look, or how well you perform for others. Your value, it comes from who you are, okay? And when we start to believe that, and I mean really believe that, we stop living in survival mode and just merely existing and start to step into our purpose. And so for many of us, that shift begins with a spiritual awakening. We start praying, not just asking for answers, but we're learning how to listen. And we meditate, not to just escape our lives, but to ground ourselves in truth. And then we turn to the scripture, right? Not for rules, but for reassurance. And in that connection with God, we find direction, clarity, and peace, even in the middle of chaos. Faith doesn't remove our challenges, but it changes how we face them. And that perspective is everything, okay? There was a season in my life where I looked like I had it all together. I was still showing up, I was still creating, still encouraging others, but inside I was tired, more like tired. Not physically tired. Well, no, physically tired too, but more so soul tired. I started questioning myself, wondering if I was enough, wondering if I was even on the right path. And then one day I realized that I just couldn't push my way through anymore. And so instead of trying to be stronger, I got quieter and I started to pray differently and really surrender myself to God. And I sat with God instead of rushing past him or saying like some really quick 5-second prayer. And I let scripture speak to the parts of me that I was, quite frankly, trying to ignore. And that's where my strength came from. Not from trying to fix everything, but from being rooted again. And that's when the peace returned. And so as my faith deepened, I experienced a powerful breakthrough. Again, my word for the year is breakthrough, right? So I realized that fear and doubt didn't have to control me. In fact, I could confront them with courage. That God's strength was greater than my weakness. And so in that realization, I found freedom. And I began living with confidence and purpose, and my life started inspiring others without me even trying. And that's where the real beauty of it comes in, because that's what I want for you. And I want you to know that you are not broken, you are not behind, and you're not lacking. And your connection with God can be one of the most powerful sources of strength and resilience in your life if you allow it. So here's my challenge for you today. All right. I want you to set aside intentional time to nurture your relationship with God. I want you to read the Bible, pray honestly, sit in stillness, and see if you can begin to access a strength and peace that carries you forward, no matter what you're facing. All right. If this message resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And I know your words could encourage someone else who's watching as well. And if you're ready to go deeper, be sure to check out the next video where we're going to explore even more faith-based content and how it can transform your life inside out. And I want you to remember this, okay? You are strong, you are capable, and most importantly, you are enough. Once again, if this message encouraged you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and join my email community for more faith-based encouragement and devotionals. I'd love to stay connected. And remember, if you're everything to everyone, then you risk being no one. You never know who you will inspire. See you next video.